Hi guys, it's been a couple weeks since I made a video, but if you saw the one I posted earlier today, we had a tornado last Tuesday. Actually last Wednesday, sorry, May 22nd, around 6:20 p.m. That was mine and my husband's first ever tornado. There was a tornado when I was in high school, but it didn't actually get anywhere near the school. It was across the highway. But my husband and I have been through several hurricanes. We lived down near Houston, in Houston, around Houston, and then we lived in Florida for 7 years. So hurricanes we've done, but that was our first tornado. Luckily, our house is intact. We don't have a fence. We had trees down. And like I said in the video, our electricity was out from Wednesday until Sunday, and then it went back out again on Tuesday. Our air conditioning came on briefly on Sunday and then went back out. The guy came today and fixed it, so I now have air conditioning again after a whole week. The dogs really didn't do too well. Unfortunately, the 18-year-old dog, we kept expecting her to pass just because it was so freaking hot in this house, even when we got the electricity back, with the fans on. It was terrible. But for those 4 or 5 days that we had no electricity, she was really struggling. But she seems to be okay now. She's been sleeping since the AC's back on. She's been sleeping in front of fans once the electricity came back on. We didn't get internet back until yesterday morning. When I woke up yesterday, the electricity was on and the internet was on. So, and it's been a little boring because also our phones don't work real well here. We have Verizon, and for some reason T-Mobile works better here. So even though we could charge our phones at work and in the car, they really didn't work that well because service was crap. We could call, we could text, but data was extremely limited. But everything seems to be good now. We're 3 for 3, electricity, AC, internet. We did lose all the food in the refrigerator and both freezers. Working with the insurance company to see if they'll give us something back for that. I don't know. But it is what it is. As far as I know, nobody in the area lost their life, so that's always good. Things can be replaced even though it seems like they can't. Stuff is just stuff. Buildings are just buildings. So, alright, so let's get into the actual FlossTube part. I did work on both of my May projects. It was kind of hard doing it by flashlight, but during the day when the sun was out, I would sit next to the open windows and stitch. So I don't really know how much I got done on this. I want to think I got done maybe 6 or 7 rows, because these rows are really long. But he's coming along. I did find my smaller 4x4 Q-snap. So I took the 6x6 apart, and so I have a 6 and a 4, and then I'm using a 6 and a 4 for this guy. And as you can see, I've gotten quite a bit done on him. I think last time I showed him, it was literally just his little face. So I've gotten all of this back here done, and then starting on his little ship, his little cradle. Most of this is fill in with this lighter color, but there is another spot over here that's the darker. So I'm filling in to get to where the darker needs to be so I can count again. And then all the background, and then the circle that goes around, and then the words. But those are the only 2 things I worked on. When it was just flashlight, I did color quite a bit. I think I finished 4 really simple pictures, and I started a bunch of others that I just got irritated with, and I would just throw them to the side and start another one. I also finished reading The Lost Story. that was definitely a 5 out of 5. I would actually like to have a sequel. See what happens, see where they go, see where the guys go, see where the girls go. I don't know anything about the author because I got that from NetGalley, so no idea if there's going to be a sequel. This book hasn't even technically released yet, so we'll see. I also started reading Husbands. Hold on. It is called Husbands and Lovers, and it is a dual timeline book. I think that's what they call it, where you're like in the modern day, but then you're also like 2 generations back. It's a woman in it doesn't give year, but you know, modern times, and then also her grandmother's timeline. So that's why it's called Husbands and Lovers, because the grandmother apparently had both. And it's pretty interesting. You know, it's secret baby, rock star baby thing, whatever, you know, college romance. But then also the dual timeline of the grandmother who was English in a foreign country around the turn of the century. I think like post World War I, seems like, when Britain and America were still kind of colonizing Egypt in that area. But it seems pretty good. The grandmother was married, but wasn't in love with the man she was married, which seems pretty common for that time period. Took a foreign lover who was also not Egyptian. He was European, but whatever. So it's pretty good so far. I'm at 87 of 314, but I only have a few days left according to it to finish reading it. So we'll see if I get done with it. If I don't, I don't. I can wait till it comes out, I guess. Or because I downloaded it, it may let me keep reading it. A lot of times the NetGalley e-arcs say you have a certain amount of time, but they don't actually they don't have a DR, I think it's called a DRM, so they don't actually expire. Just they want you to finish them because they want all the reviews and everything prior to the book coming out. So we'll see. If I don't get to finish it, I don't get to finish it. It's not the end of the world. I took a book off my shelf and went in the other room with it and then didn't even start reading it. So I need to actually get back to reading the books on my shelf. But while we didn't have electricity, my tablet, I could obviously read on the tablet in the dark. So I finished that and played some games on it and stuff like that. It was very trying. I do have some old haul that I'm not sure if I've actually shown or not. I was on eBay and I realized that I had money from something I had sold still in my eBay account. So I bought 2 pieces of fabric. This one is I don't know. I don't even know what it's called. It's not a very big piece either. It's like a vintagey looking Ada. I think it's 14 count. It might be 16. I don't remember, but I don't think it's actually big enough for what I wanted it for. And then I also got this piece that said purple gray. It's a 16 count. It's 16 by 10. I don't think it's going to work for what I wanted it for. And also, it, to me, is just gray. Like, this is not purple. This is just gray. It is pretty. It is a nice piece. But it's just gray. It's not purple. It's really hard to tell. I'd say that, yeah, that's a little grayer than it is. That's probably a little closer. I did have to turn some of the lights off because the glare on my glasses was so bad you couldn't hardly see my face. But I don't really think it's purple. I think it's gray. But also, at a 16 count, that piece isn't going to be big enough for what I wanted it for. But eventually, I'll use it for something. Another thing I bought that is technically for the channel, I got these at Walmart. And if you look, there's 4 different things. There's the vase, this pink flower, this blue flower, and then this blue flower up here. These were $5 a piece, and this is the vase. So you can put it together any of these ways here, and it holds the 3 flowers. Oh, here's a better picture. So I got the pink flower and I got this blue flower, but the blue bonnet was sold out. And when I went online and was looking at pictures of the blue bonnet by itself, whoever designed this blue bonnet has never seen a blue bonnet. I don't know what this is, but it's not a blue bonnet. It is ridiculous looking. So here is the vase. Here is the pink flower. And this is what it looks like. And then here is the blue flower. The blue flower looks very similar to some of the 2 of the different ones that we did from Dollar Tree. But here they are. And like I said, these were only $5, so the Lego individual flowers are still $15. So I got all 3 of these for the price of 1 Lego flower. I keep checking because they keep putting a lot of stuff on clearance at the Walmart I work at. I've gone to Dollar General. I went to Big Lots. I even check at H-E-B, the grocery store, and see if anybody has Lego sets on clearance. And so far, no one has had any Lego sets on clearance. So, Dollar General, their Lego sets are actually the same price, if not more expensive than Walmart. And when I say more expensive, I mean like less than $1, because most Dollar General prices are even. So like $10, and at Walmart it's $9.59 or whatever. So it's not like huge differences, but it's also not less. Like Dollar General should be less than Walmart, right? But whatever. So we have these. So eventually we'll get around to putting these together. I want to put them all together at once, but then I'm like, no, I want to savor putting them together. Oh, it has a name. This one's a hydrangea, and this one is a dahlia. So there we go. And these don't have a huge amount of pieces. This one has, the pink one has 100 pieces. The blue one has 121. And the vase has 70. And these are called Flower Shop by Bricktanicals. I think they had maybe a bigger one also that was like $20, but I just got the little ones. So, oh, and then these say that they have extra parts so you can make the stem different. So that's cool. So when we put them together, we're going to put this one together first, and then we'll put these together and see how we like them. Maybe change them around. I may even get more. I mean, it might be cool to have 2 or 3 of each. And if that terrible looking bluebonnet comes back in stock, I'll buy it too. The other big, huge thing that's been going on that I don't think I talked about because I just paid for it is I'm taking a class to take the test to sell insurance in the state of Texas. I have for years said I did not want to work for an insurance company. I never wanted to have anything to do with insurance. But I really, really want to work from home. I am tired of having to go somewhere every day. So, in order to work from home, there's very few things that are not doing return to office or not, hybrid and things like that. And Geico, Progressive, a lot of those guys, their underwriters, their salesmen, customer service, even their adjusters are all remote. So I paid for the class. I have this physical book to show you because I didn't pay attention when I was going through the extras, and I thought I was just paying to have this added to my online class, but I was actually paying to have it shipped to me. So I went through Kaplan. A lot of people have probably heard of them, at least in the United States. The class itself was only about $200 for property and casualty. And then they also have one that is for personal lines, which I'm assuming is like health insurance, life insurance, stuff like that. Stuff to do with your personal self, not your stuff. This one is for your stuff. But this book was like $19 for this book. And there was another $16 for them to ship me this book. So I wasted $35 because they gave me this book in a PDF. Really should have paid more attention. So it was like $242 because $35 of it was this book. You don't, in the state of Texas, you do not have to take a class in order to take the test. The test is only $43. But it is highly, highly recommended you take a class unless you're really good at memorizing from a book, because you can buy books on Amazon. I looked, they're like $40. Or you know a lot about the insurance industry already. So they really suggest you take a class. This past week that I didn't have electricity and internet has put me really far behind. I should be on like chapter 6 now, and I'm still on chapter 2. Or section 2. I don't think they're chapters. So I really got to get caught up today because I spent so much time cleaning and getting caught up on that stuff that I'm not going to work on the class today because I don't want all the other stuff in my head keeping me from focusing. I paid for the slideshow and then the videos. The videos basically is just a woman reading you the slideshow. So what I do is I go through the slides, I take my notes, because I'm one of those people that if I write something down, I'm more likely to remember it than if I just read it and again. And if I hear something, I'm really going to remember it. So I go through a section, take my notes, and then I go watch the lady repeat it, basically. It is a very low budget production for what it is. It's literally a woman in really tacky clothes standing in front of a giant projector screen that just pops up the slides, basically, and then she has a spiral bound copy of the book and she's reading from it, and then she clicks to the next slide, and then she clicks to the next slide. She looks like she should sell real estate in 1992. But that is what it is. I need to get this done so I can go take the test, so I can get licensed, so I can start trying to find a job to work from home. In Texas, I think one thing that might hold me back, though, is I'm not bilingual. The Fred Loya Insurance office that's inside the Walmart I work at hasn't had anyone there since I think the beginning of March, but according to their website, They will only hire you if you're bilingual, which makes sense in Texas that you need to be bilingual. But you haven't had anyone in that office since February or March. Maybe it would be better just to have someone in there to take payments and things like that, but I don't know. But I really want to work from home, so I think one of the big national companies is probably going to be a Better Choice, Progressive, Geico, Mutual, Farmers, all those guys. So I got to get the test, get the class done, get the test, and put it out there. So we'll see. It may be a bust like everything else I've done, or it may be a great opportunity. We will see. I don't have anything else to say, I don't think. If you like Pokemon Go, I can show you my code. Where's my friend code? Hey, there's my friend code. I went to the park today and spun a few Pokestops in a gym and took the picture of the giant tree. If you watch the other video, there's a big tree laying on its side. That's at the park I go to. That tree is technically the gym. Luckily, it fell away from the playscape. I had my back to the playscape because there was a lady and her little boy there, so I didn't want to take pictures of them. But luckily it fell away from the playscape instead of falling on the playscape. It did look like it crushed the water fountain, which I don't think worked anyways. It missed the bench that I sit on when I'm battling. But it's blocking like 2 parking spots and the trail. So, but it's a huge, huge tree. It's so sad. We've seen so many trees tipped over just like that. It literally looks like somebody just pushed them over. Boop. The roots are all up in the air. It stinks because there's big, huge trees. It's really, it takes so long for them to get there. And I don't know much about trees, but I'm pretty sure you can't just tip them back up and hope for the best. I think once they're over, they're just gone. But who knows? The city has been so busy dealing with so many other things, like miles and miles and miles of street lights out and stoplights out, that I think a tree that's not hurting anybody in a tiny park that not a lot of people go to, not a big priority. So it does stink because some of the smaller trees got damaged too, but just that big huge tree, just like the big huge tree in my backyard that lost, like, I'd say probably a third of the top. But it is what it is. Trees are living, breathing things, but they too can be replaced. So I think I'm done rambling. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.